Sunlight filtered softly through the cracked window, casting golden rays onto the cluttered little room. The light danced on the dusty floor, making it shimmer as if it were covered in glitters. Wyan's sleep broke when the warmth of the sun kissed her face. Slowly she pushed herself, her body drained, aching, almost unwilling to move. The room was a mess, barely enough space to stretch. It wasn't much, but it was all she had. Dragging her feet, Wyan got ready, her movements sluggish. She hadn't eaten properly in days. With nothing substantial in the kitchen, she made do with a teeny breakfast. She slipped into a loose outfit, one that deliberately masked the changes in her body, the baby growing inside her. She didn't want anyone to know. The college ground buzzed with energy, laughter, gossip, hurried footsteps. Everyone seemed alive and full of purpose. Wyan, however, quietly made her way to a corner and sat alone, away from the noise. College was prestigious, a place for the rich and elite. Wyan only got in through a scholarship. Her poverty marked her. No one really spoke to her. She was used to the silence. Moments later, class began. An older professor entered the room, greeted the students, and spoke with a normal smile. Professor, I will be stepping away for a while. As you all know, your previous English teacher has retired. A new professor will be joining you soon. You will meet him today. With that he left. The students stood to show respect and sat down again, whispering curiously. A few minutes passed. Then the door opened. A man walked in, young, sharp, commanding. One kept her head down, not paying much attention, but the classroom wasn't so quiet anymore. Wow, he's so young, one girl whispered excitedly. He doesn't even look like a professor. Another giggled. He looked like a model, and his jawline. Do you see how handsome he is? The girl swooned, but the man's deep voice cut through the noise. Silence. I don't tolerate talking during my class. At once the class fell still. His voice wasn't loud, but it held weight, firm, composed, confident. He stepped forward, eyes sweeping across the room. Jungkook, my name is Jungkook. I will be your new English professor. If any of you need academic help, my office is open. I expect discipline and attention in my class. The students were surprised. He didn't just look good. He spoke with calm authority. There was something magnetic about him. They were hooked. Wyan remained still, curled in the shadows of the back bench, her mind elsewhere. Jungkook began the class, writing on the board, explaining the syllabus. But something tugged at him. Out of the corner of his eyes, he noticed a girl sitting at the far end, head down, unmoving, detached from the world around her. He paused. She wasn't listening, not even pretending. His jaws tightened. Jungkook, you, he called sharply, pointing to the back. You, the girl sitting in the last row, stand up. But the girl didn't react. Whispers filled the room. Is she deaf or what? Oh, she's done for. Sir is going to roast her. Jungkook didn't wait. He walked toward her bench, his footsteps firm. Reaching the bench, he stood before her. Jungkook, you, get up. Wyan flinched. Her body didn't want to obey, but she pushed herself up. Her head remained bowed. Jungkook, I said, looked at me. Slowly, reluctantly, Wyan raised her face, and their eyes met. Time stood still. Jungkook froze, his breath caught in his throat. Those eyes, that face, it was her, Wyan, his Wyan, the girl he had once loved, the girl he had lost. Shock rippled through his expression, his professional marks cracking as he stared at her in disbelief. Wyan too stood frozen. Her mind spun. This wasn't just her professor, this was her ex-boyfriend, and he didn't know she was pregnant, didn't know the child growing inside her was his. Wyan composed herself, trying to act normal, even as her heart pounded in her chest. She swallowed hard and finally spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. Wyan, I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again. Jungkook didn't respond. He just stood there for a moment, frozen. Then, without a word, he turned and walked back to the front of the class. No reaction, no expression, just silence. He picked up the marker and began teaching again, but something had shifted. His voice lacked energy. His eyes no longer scanned the room. He didn't look at her, not even once. But the tension was undeniable. Something inside him had unraveled. He continued the lecture in a mechanical tone, like a man going through the emotions. Minutes ticked by until the class finally ended. Without looking back, Jungkook placed the marker down and walked out of the classroom. Wine didn't move. She sat motionless, a quiet figure among the chatter of her classmates. Something inside her had gone still, like a part of her had just stopped breathing. Outside the class, two girls chatted excitedly. "Suzie, did you see the way he talks?" she whispered, nudging her friends. "So different, so intense, so me, and those expressions," she replied, fanning herself. "It's like he belongs in a movie." Susie grinned. "Susie, back off. I got tips. I am starting skincare from tomorrow. I need to impress." They giggled and kept talking, fantasizing about the new professor like he was a celebrity. One heard it all, every word, but she said nothing. She simply stood up, grabbed her bag, and walked away. Her silence was heavy like a shadow that followed her out of the classroom. One next stop was her part-time job, but even there she could not focus. Her hands trembled as she worked, her thoughts scattered like broken glass. The manager, Mrs. Kim, noticed immediately. "Mrs. Kim, Wine, are you feeling okay?" she asked, her voice soft with concern. "You look pale. Why don't you take the day off? Don't worry, your salary won't be deducted." Wine managed a faint smile. "Why, thank you, Mrs. Kim. I will work double shifts tomorrow to make up for it." "Mrs. Kim, take care of yourself," Mrs. Kim said kindly. Wine nodded and left quietly. She didn't go home. Instead, she wandered. Her steps eventually led her to the riverside, the quietest place she knew. The breeze was gentle, the water calm. She sat down on a bench near the edge, pulling her knees close to her chest. She stared at the flowing water as if it held answers, but there were gone only memories, memories of him, of them, of what they used to be. Now everything was different. He was her professor, she was his student, and he didn't know about the life growing inside her, didn't know he was going to be a father. Wind placed a hand gently over her belly. The wind whispered around her as if nature itself carried the weight of her secret, and still she said nothing to anyone because some storms are meant to be weathered alone. Flashback. 1 year ago, the restaurant buzzed with noise and motion, orders flying in, dishes clanking, steam clouding up the kitchen windows. It was one of those chaotic evenings, and one came running through the back door, breathless, her hair steam damp from the rushed shower. The manager raised an eyebrow as she spotted her. "Manager, Wine, again, you are late again." "Wine, I'm sorry, ma'am, it won't happen again." Wine panted, head bowed. "Manager, it better not. This is your last warning." The manager snapped before walking away to yell another orders across the counter. Wine nodded quietly and slipped into the kitchen, tying her apron as she entered. The warm scent of garlic and spices filled the air. Behind the counter, Jungkook was already chopping vegetables with smooth precision, sleeve rolls up, the smudge of flour on his cheek. As soon as he saw her, his face lit up. "Jungkook, hey baby," he whispered with a teasing smile. "I have been calling you. Why didn't you pick up?" "When I overslept," she whispered back, coming closer. "Got ready in a rush. I'm sorry." "Jungkook, don't worry," he said, whipping his hands. "I prepared your shift. Your share's already done." Wine's eyes softened. "Wine, thank you, baby." From behind, a deliberate cock sliced through their movement. They turned quietly. Suga, the head chef, leaned against the prep table with crossed arms and a knowing glare. "Suga, if you two lovebirds are done with your kitchen romance, maybe focus on the actual job before I throw you both out. The street's always available for date night." Impressed, Wine and Jungkook exchanged a look and nodded, silently returning to work. After a long shift of frying, serving, and cleaning, the day finally ended. The sky had turned deep dark, lit by the city lights. As Jungkook walked Wine home, the streets were quieter now, peaceful in the hush of late night. Though they studied at different classes, Jungkook being a few years older, their part-time job had brought them together. From shared breaks and exchanged jokes to stolen kisses and late-night walks, their love had bloomed in the middle of their working class struggle. Jungkook broke the silence first. Jungkook, baby, just one more exam, I will be done. That's it. Then I will graduate. Wan smiled. Wan, I know you have worked so hard. Jungkook, but once I'm out, he said, voice a bit lower, we won't get to see each other like this anymore. I will be looking for a job. It won't be the same. Once heard Ashet at the thought, Wine, you will still find time for me, won't you? Jungkook paused, then smiled and took her hand. Jungkook, of course, I will get a job and then we will get married. Her eyes sparkled. Wine, you know I love the color red, right? She grinned, tilting her head playfully. I want everything in our wedding to be red, even your tie. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook, all right, baby, everything red just for you. Wine, thank you, she whispered, raising her toes to press a kiss to his lips. He smiled and kissed her back gently under the dim glow of street lamp. It was simple, it was love, and it felt like it would last forever. Present day, the memory faded like a film reel slowing to a stop. Wine sat alone by the river, staring at the water that shimmered beneath the sunlight, her arms curled around her belly, her fingers stretching slow, thoughtful circle over the life growing inside her. A soft smile played on her lips. The past was far behind but never forgotten. She stood slowly, brushing off her skirt. It was time to head home, but then her breath caught. Across the riverside path, just a few yards away, sat a familiar figure, Jungkook. Alone, staring out the same water, Wine froze, her heart pounded. She wasn't ready, she didn't want to face him. Without a second thought, she turned and walked away as quickly and quietly as she could, because some stories, some truths aren't ready to be told. Jungkook arrived home late at night. As he stepped in, he saw his mother waiting for him in the living room, worry etched across her face. Jungkook's mom, what took you so long, Jungkook? Do you even know how much I worry about you? Jungkook calmly, I had some work, that's why I got late. Jungkook's mom, I keep dinner ready for you. Come, let's eat together. Jungkook quietly, I already ate, mom. Without another word, he walked away to his room, leaving his mom standing silently behind. He didn't say anything more these days. Jungkook wasn't like before. He barely talked to anyone, kept to himself, and had grown distant, almost as if he was slowly fading into loneliness. Inside his room, Jungkook freshened up and collapsed onto his bed. His thought wandered, refusing to let him rest. Jungkook, whispering to himself, you disappeared without a word and then appeared again just like that. You left me behind with pain I never deserved. For the day you hurt me, I will never forgive you. Tears slipped from the corner of his eyes, but he ignored it, like he always did. Muttering to himself, he slowly drifted off to sleep. Next morning, the classroom was buzzing as students sat at their desks, preparing for the lecture. Wine was always seated, quietly waiting. A few moments later, Jungkook walked into the room. He looked perfectly normal, composed as always, yet his strict, no-nonsense demeanor was still firmly in place. Jungkook sternly, I will be assigning a new project today. No matter what, it must be completed by tomorrow. I expect it on my desk. No excuses. Student in unison, yes sir. Without further discussion, Jungkook turned and left the classroom. At the back of the room, two girls were whispering among themselves. Suzie panicked. What are we going to do now? I am so bad at studies. I have to get noticed by Jungkook sir somehow. Somi grinning. Why are you so stressing so much? Look behind you. Suzie turned to see Wyan quietly sitting alone at her desk. Somi asks her, she will probably do your assignment too. Suzie, that's a great idea, let's go. The two girls walked up to Wyan's desk and stood in front of her, Suzie snapping, hey, get up. Startled by their sudden appearance, Wyan stood up. Wyan softly, is something wrong? Somi, yes, a lot of things. Suzie demanding, tomorrow I want not only your assignment done, but mine too. We will do both. Wyan, I can't. I'm sorry. Somi threatening, what do you mean you can't? You will do it, or you will regret it. Suzie mocking, you know who our dads are, don't you? Kicking you out of this college will take less than 2 minutes for us. Sumi, finish my assignment before classes begin tomorrow or be ready for hell. With that, the two girls stormed off, leaving Wine frozen in place, unsure of what to do or who to turn to. She stood there quietly, feeling smaller than ever. Wine walked straight into the cafe, her steps a little hurried as usual. The moment she entered, she saw the manager standing near the counter, arms crossed, waiting for her. Mrs. Kim, Wine, how many times have I told you not to rush like this? Mrs. Kim, the manager, scolded meekly, though her tone carried more concern than irritation. Wine gave a soft smile. Why, nothing will happen, ma'am. I'm fine. Mrs. Kim sighed, then gestured toward the back. Mrs. Kim, all right, go on. Get into the kitchen. Wine nodded and went straight into the kitchen. She tied her apron and started working. Today was salary day. No matter how tired she felt, she could not miss work day. Hours passed in a blur of cleaning, cooking, and serving. Finally, the restaurant closed, and the last chair was stacked. One stretched her arms, her body aching from the long shift. Mrs. Kim approached her with an envelope in hand. Mrs. Kim, Wine, here is your monthly salary. Wine took it with both hands, her face lighting up. Wine, thank you, Mrs. Kim. Mrs. Kim, you are welcome, dear. Please careful on your way home. Wine, I will, manager, she replied politely before making her way out. The night had fallen by the time she reached the convenience store. She bought everything she needed, groceries, some toiletries, and a few small treats. As she was about to leave, her hand instinctively went to her pocket. She sighed. She had enough for today, but her monthly checkup was still pending, and now she wasn't sure if she could afford it. With a heavy heart and even heavier bags, Wine walked home. The weight of the groceries made her arms ache, but she didn't complain. She climbed to the stairs to her small apartment, unlocked the door, and set everything down with a soft thud. She took her time arranging the items, then stepped into the kitchen. For the first time in weeks, she cooked a proper meal, something warm, flavorful, and comforting. After dinner, she sat down and completed her pending class assignment. Finally, she changed into her night clothes and collapsed onto the bed with a satisfied sigh. Just as she closed her eyes, she felt something, a gentle nudge, and then another. Her hand flew to her belly, a kick. Her baby had just moved for the first time. Wine, oh my, she whispered, tears springing to her eyes. Another kick, then another. She laughed, her hands gently cradling her stomach. Wine, you really in there, huh? She whispered, her voice filled with wonder. You can hear me, can't you? She spoke softly to her baby, telling her or his about her day, about how much she was waiting to meet him or her. The fear, the stress, the exhaustion all melted away in that moment, and as the baby moved gently inside her, Wine drifted off into a peaceful sleep, a soft smile on her lips. Morning arrived like any other day. Students began entering the classroom one by one. One walked in quietly and took her seat near the window. Moments later, Suzie approached her, standing tall in front of her desk with folded arms. Suzie, did you do what I asked you to? She demanded, her tone sharp. Wine blinked, confused for a second, then realization struck. She had completely forgotten. Wine, I'm sorry, I forgot, she admitted, her voice low. Suzie, you forgot? She hissed. What am I supposed to show the professor now? Her frustration flared, and just she was about to raise her hand in anger, the classroom door swung open. Jungkook walked in. At once, every student took their seat and sat up straight. The room fell silent. A few minutes into the class, Jungkook asked for the assignment notebooks. Jungkook, everyone, hand in your work. One by one, students walked up and submitted their notebooks, but Suzie remained seated, frozen. Jungkook frowned. Jungkook, who wasn't submitted their assignment, stand up. Slowly, Suzie stood up, head bowed. Suzie, I'm sorry, sir, it won't happen again. Jungkook, everyone else has submitted their. Why you could not? His voice was calm but clearly annoyed. Suzie didn't answer. Jungkook, I asked you something. He pressed. Answer me. Suzie, I will submit it next time, sir, she mumbled. Jungkook, there better not be a next time. If you fail to submit your assignment again, I will be speaking directly to your guardian. The words stung. Susie's face flushed with embarrassment as she silently sat back down. Jungkook continued teaching as if nothing had happened, but Susie's mind was burning with humiliation. Even amidst a full class, she felt exposed and dishonored. Under her breath, she muttered, Susie, you will pay for this wine. I swear I will make you pay. After Jungkook left, a few more classes passed until it was finally time to go home. Wine was gathering her things when a girl approached her. Girl, Wine, sir wants to see you in the library, the girl said. Wine looked up. Wine, we sir, girl, you will know once you go. The girl replied vaguely, then walked away. Without saying another word, Wine made her way to the library. It was nearly closing time, and the most of the lights were already off. The hallway was eerily quiet. She pushed the library door open and stepped inside. As soon as she walked a little deeper into the room, the door slammed shut behind her. Startled, one rushed back and tried to open it. Locked. She knocked. She screamed. She even sent messages, but no one heard her. Panic began to race in her chest. The darkness closed in. Her breathing grew heavier. No air, no help, no way out. Her heart pounded as her chest tightened. Panic attacked. She collapsed to the floor, eyes fluttering shut, gasping for breath as everything turned dark.